Week in Sports for Wednesday, November 30th, 2016. I'm Mike McClung here alongside Evan Lawani and Matt Zahar. So we're going to start like we always do, talking about Week 12 in the NFL. We saw a couple Thanksgiving games. We saw the Cowboys win. We saw the Broncos lose. We thought they were pretty good. What did you see?
I was talking about Thanksgiving games, the Lions and the Vikings. The Lions, their season's been pretty crazy so far. Every game that they've won in the fourth quarter, they've been losing, and that's 7 games. So I think the resilience by that team is great, but the fact that they've been putting themselves in that situation so many times, it could hurt them down the stretch. But right now, they're sitting pretty in first place in their own division, respectively. So I thought that's great.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, continue.
I think the fact that they're trailing all those games, eventually that's got to catch up to them because they've been trailing in the fourth quarter of every game this season. But in my opinion, I don't know if anybody in that division can catch them necessarily because nobody's really that good. We were talking about the Vikings and the Packers. I don't see any of those two teams making a deep run, winning that division. So I don't know. The Lions might just skate by, but that might not fly in the playoffs.
Well, I think from Thursday night games, I saw the Steelers are emerging as another powerhouse like they've been the past couple of years with their offense. They're getting healthy, and I think you'll see them make a big run into the playoffs and maybe make a Super Bowl run.
I sure hope so. They're doing a lot better than those Eagles.
Yeah, they are. The Eagles, they look bad on Monday night. The Packers, they just had their way with the Eagles' defense. Like Matt was saying, we were talking a little bit before the show, they were 14 for 20 on third downs. You can't win a game like that. Their defense has been very good up until this point, and I don't know if fatigue's setting in or something, but this pretty young defense is falling apart down the stretch here.
Can't you give them a little bit of a pass, though, because of Aaron Rodgers on the other side?
I got to give credit for Matt for this one, but he said that other teams have been able to shut Aaron Rodgers down. Eagles couldn't. But the thing is, if we're looking at some positives here, James Starks at 17 carries for 40 yards. That's very good defense from the defensive line. But anything beyond that is just, right now, it's hopeless.
I think that's fair enough. Anything else we saw?
If you're looking at the little things during the game, end of the game, 3 minutes left, Packers have the ball 4th and 10. 4th and 10. They're lined up to punt. Eagles get a penalty for 12 men on the field, 5-yard penalty. So Packers just decide to go for it, try to end the game, get a first down, it's over. You just can't have those silly little penalties, and you're not going to win a game like that.
Darren Sproles, 50-yard screen pass, called back for a pass interference on a wide receiver. You just can't win like that.
It's kind of like a microcosm of the Eagles' whole season, isn't it? You think they're good all of a sudden, think something good's going to happen, and then they start to fall apart. Does anybody want to talk about that Broncos-Chiefs game real quick? To me, that was the game of the year so far.
That was a defensive game. If you like defense, you would love that game. They really, from what I watched, every play was just so intense and so many hard hits.
That guy Tyreek Hill on the Chiefs, he's just emerging, and he's a force.
He's very fast.
Yeah, he's extremely fast.
I think they said he ran like a 4.2 something. It was just sick. Probably I run a 4.3. So
right, you're not too far behind.
He's a little bit quicker than you.
But anyway, if you're talking about that game, you said all defense for the first part of the game, and then at the very end of the fourth quarter, both teams started scoring a little bit. He was on the Broncos last year. Simeon was going down the score, and it seems like every possession getting a touchdown or a field goal, and then the Chiefs would just answer. It almost felt like, how was anybody going to win this game? Chiefs were down by 8 on their last drive, able to get it, go for 2, tied the game up, sent it to overtime, and then they traded field goals, and the Chiefs eventually banked in field goal with 5 seconds left in overtime to win the game.
Cairo Santos.
I stayed up till 12:30 watching this game, and I don't regret it at all.
That was past my bedtime, so I saw highlights of the end of the game. But, Cairo Santos with the big kick.
It's crazy. It was crazy to see all the different reactions of the players because a lot of them thought he missed. Cairo Santos was confident, but not everybody was. That was pretty interesting to watch.
Just one thing, Tyreek Hill was the first guy since Gale Sayers to have a receiving touchdown, rushing touchdown, and returning touchdown in a game. If you're in the same company as Gale Sayers, you're doing pretty well.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's good. Russell Westbrook's good. He's averaging a triple-double right now. Thunder are doing, just all right. Maybe not as good as we thought they were going to be. How is he doing what he's doing?
I really don't know, to be honest with you. He's getting a crazy amount of rebounds for a guy who's about yay tall. Okay, approximation here.
Right, yeah.
Probably a little taller.
He just runs in, steals balls. He does everything, and I really am not sure how he's able to get these perfect stats, except the fact that he's just good at basketball.
His only downfall is that he turns the ball over a little too much. And, the Thunder are doing very well right now, but you got to think, is it going to last throughout the whole season if he's carrying that whole load the whole season?
Yeah, and I don't want to take anything away from what he's doing because I think he's one of the best players in the NBA. But at the same time, he leads the league in turnovers and he leads the league in possessions ended, which happens when you take so many shots a game. you turn the ball over that many times, obviously you're ending a lot of possessions on your own. He's a great player, but until they get some help around him, I don't think they're going to be able to go into the playoffs and make a run. But maybe you guys disagree. You think they are going to have a shot at that?
I don't know. Victor Oladipo's there trying to help him out, but I like Steve Adams. I think they could make the playoffs, and I think they will make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to do too much after that because in the playoffs, one man is not going to win a game.
And you got to figure if they do get in, they're going to be a low seed. They're going to have to play either Golden State, the Clippers, San Antonio, one of those teams, and it'd be tough to predict them winning any of those series.
I mean, the only one-man team that can really go far is LeBron James, and he does it every single year, but Russell Westbrook he's not LeBron James.
I mean,
Nobody
he's in a whole different
Yeah.
category. I don't think it's fair to compare anybody to LeBron. We were
No,
talking about it last
LeBron.
week a little bit. He's going to make the finals every year.
for the rest of his career.
I can't see that changing.
So, moving on to baseball now, Cespedes has been, a little bit of a one-man team for the Mets going forward past couple of years. The 1 year they picked him up, he really provided a spark plug to that team. Now he gets a $110 million contract over 4 years. I'm going to start with the Mets fan. Do you think he's worth that price?
Yeah, I want to say yes, but let's be honest here. That's a lot of money. He can hit a lot of home runs. He can do a lot. But paying one man 4 years, 110, just seems a little pricey to me. I mean, unless he's a pitcher, I disagree with how much I spent on him, although I love seeing him back on the Mets. So in the long run, it could be worth it, but the price is just a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think them getting him was worth it, but not that price, just because the fact that he's 31 years old. By the end of his contract, he's going to be 36. And he's past his prime.
It's weird to think about because he's a player coming down from, I don't know if it's Dominican Republic or Cuba. Cuba, that's it. It's hard to believe he's 31 already because he's only been in the league for a couple years, but when you look at it by that, he definitely is getting, a little bit up there in age, but like you said, 36 by the end of it. Anytime teams make these huge, lucrative contracts, it almost seems like they don't work. I mean, maybe some teams go on a run here or there, but, whenever teams overpay for pitchers, offering pitchers $200 million deals, very rarely do they ever win because of it, because they have no money to spend anywhere else. I think the Mets, we might see that. Maybe you disagree with me as a Mets fan, but I personally think some of the trades that they made, getting Jay Bruce last year, I don't think that's going to work out for them.
They said they might even trade Jay Bruce now at this point, so it's kind of interesting because they said they're going to trade Bruce or Granderson. And I love Granderson. I'd love to see him stay, but he's also has never produced for the Mets, so I wouldn't care if he went. But, I mean, this is the thing. You lock Cespedes down, they already have all their pitchers under contract for the most part, so I think that's why they, went a little extra on Cespedes because they have a little extra room. But in the long run, with their pitchers, they're going to need money. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's not hurting them right now because they have those, young guys locked up under contract already. But when these guys become free agents and demand the money that they deserve at market price, some of the young pitchers that they have, they're really going to be in trouble because they're not going to have it. I mean, even if they're a New York team, eventually the money's going to have to run out.
I agree, yeah.
All right, so moving on, we're going to talk a little about Tiger Woods now. A little bit of right in here by Matt. He's a big Tiger Woods fan. He's coming back next week. Tomorrow, so there you go.
I'm excited. I mean, it's been 15 months since his last tournament, and I mean, if he comes back and he plays well and he's in contention on Sunday, which he could be. It's only a 18-man. Was it 18-man?
18 or 24.
18.
It's a small tournament.
It's a small tournament. If he's in contention, I think personally you'll see NFL ratings go way down on Sunday just because of how big of a thing Tiger Woods is. He always has been. He makes that sport. He's just made it huge over the years.
The legacy he has on that sport has been just insurmountable. I think that it's crazy that one man has been doing something so well for the game of golf, and seeing his downfall, I think it was pretty sad, honestly. His whole back injury and everything in 2008 that really spiraled his career down. If he can kind of come back, and he's not going to be the same player he was, but if he can come, maybe win a tournament or two here or there, I think it would be great for the game of golf, number one, and just great for him.
That was a big word out of you, insurmountable there. I'm proud of you. I don't mean to dish your guys' sport here because you guys both golf a little bit, but, are we putting that major record out the window? Because I think that's just too far out of reach.
I don't know. It depends how he comes back and how his back responds because, I mean, like Jack Nicklaus, the greatest golfer of all time besides Tiger Woods, I mean, it's pretty debatable. But, I mean, he golfed until he was 50. He last won his major at 49. So, I mean, that gives Tiger Woods another 9 years. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see with his injuries if he's going to be able to do that. But like you said, the game of golf, not necessarily the most exciting sport regarded by the fans, but, this is the spark plug that they need because, he's an exciting person to watch and he's an exciting person to pay attention to.
Yeah, I'm excited to see because this is the top or the best 20 players in this tournament. So he has extremely hard competition in this tournament. So if he can even come in 10th, I'd be impressed.
I mean, this is just like a sample size of what a major is this tournament this weekend. It's all top 25 players besides him. He's 898 in the world, but he's an exception because he's hosting the tournament. But I mean, I don't know. It's going to be exciting to see.
You're excited. He's excited. I'm excited. And
I'm going to watch it during fourth period tomorrow.
There you go. There's some exciting teams at the top of the college football playoff rankings. Alabama's coming in at number 1. Ohio State's 2. Clemson's 3. Washington sneaks back into the top 4 at number 4. And I thought it was very interesting. Michigan moves up to number 5.
I'm just going to say right now, I disagree. I absolutely hate that. You lose to the number 2 team in the nation in overtime, double overtime, and you drop down a whole spot to number 5. I think that's just – I completely disagree with that. I think Michigan is a much better team than Washington, and I really feel strongly that Michigan should be in the top 4.
This is hard for me because I really like Washington, but I think I have to agree with you because, like you said, we've been talking this whole week about how the loser of that game is probably out, but how can you flip it when that game is basically a coin toss? Michigan, played just as well as Ohio State for the whole game, and if it's not for that that controversial call on the 4th and 1, Michigan would have won that game. And I don't know. I think Michigan's going to have a chance to get back into the top 4. Obviously, it's only going to take one loss at any of those teams now. But I think you're absolutely right. They've showed me in that game that they played well enough that they belong in that conversation.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. And I think it would be ridiculous if Michigan's not in the top 4, and I'd be mad. I'd go write a strongly worded letter to the committee.
But the thing about championship weekend is that none of these teams are playing easy games from here on out, anybody in the top 4. So any of them could easily lose this next week.
Well, I hope they do, and I hope Michigan gets in there.
Okay, well, I hope so too. But we don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know what's going to happen.
So if they do sneak in, are you predicting they get in?
I'm predicting they get in.
You think they're going to win?
I think Clemson's going to lose.
Okay.
And I think that they're going to slot in to the 4th spot, and Washington's going to go to the 3, which I disagree with, but I think that's going to happen.
The way the committee's ranked them so far, it'd be hard to see any of them falling out with a win.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you think Michigan's going to have a chance to win it all?
I think Alabama is just too good.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. You got a prediction for it?
I just think Alabama's going to win it all. I don't think it's even going to be like a contest. It's going to. What was the
I think it'll be a close game.
I don't think so. I don't see it. The Alabama team is just so dominant.
Yeah, Alabama's got to have at least 10 players going to the NFL. They're going to get drafted. They're
all in like the top 3
I heard Nick
rounds.
Saban's just going to get drafted.
Nick Saban himself
Nick
is going
Saban
to
himself,
be.
the head
He's going to
coach.
play quarterback now. I heard an interesting conversation the other day. We've been talking about it a little bit. Do we think Alabama could beat the Browns?
No.
Okay, because I don't think so either. I think the Browns will blow them
You got
out.
to think about it. It's only they might have 10 people get into the NFL. Maybe 4 or 5 will be starters. Browns have 22 starters.
At least 15.
They're still NFL qualified. They could, if they were.
They're the lower tier, but yeah,
if
they're
they were-
NFL players. They've been training, 6-7 years over these guys. This is their livelihood. Those guys, I don't think they'd lose to a college team.
Yeah, I mean, they've been close in some NFL games. They're a bad team for the NFL.
I mean, they've had some close games this year.
But
It's not like that Lions team from 06.
No.
06?
Something like that. 2009 maybe. They went 0-16, but I guess we're gonna have to something we're gonna pay attention to. Like we said, the Browns still haven't won a game.
Yeah, they'll beat the Steelers week 17.
I don't know. I think the Steelers are gonna be fighting for playoff spots there.
Nah, they'll clinch it by then.
They're gonna be up for the 3 and 4, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm gonna take Alabama too. That's gonna wrap it up for this week in sports. From Matt Zahar and Evan Olawani, I'm Mike McClung. Have a fantastic night.